Sales Page Makeover Masterclass. Guys, I want you to have a little bit of a ponder. If your client landed on your sales page today, what would they think of you? What would they think of what you're selling? And like hot tip, these two questions, this is like basically the only questions that you need answered when it comes to market research, when it comes to understanding your ideal clients. These big ideal client avatars. I'm going to give you a hot tip, and this wasn't even part of it. This is just me giving you a hot tip. To understand your client's perspective and worldview and know what to say and know what to write on your sales page and how to talk about the thing that you offer, you need to answer these two questions. So I'm asking it more in a way of like, are they going to be like blown away by what you have to sell? Are they going to have that FOMO to be like, oh my God, I need what she is selling? Are they like, the thing that she is selling is the thing that I need? Is that connection being made the moment your next client lands on your sales page? Or is it a little underwhelming? So ponder that. What would your next client think of you when they land on your sales page? And what would they think of the thing that you're selling? Okay, you're in the right place today. If you want to turn your sales page into pure profits. And I know that kind of sounds like such a throwaway kind of comment. Like, of course, your sales page is supposed to turn into pure profits. It's the whole point of it. And yet it's not working. Why? Well, we're going to cover that today. So guys, my promise for you today, as I mentioned, we're going to go through the 5 biggest mistakes, the things that you can't afford to make that are currently happening on your sales page. Then I'm going to give you the 5 exact steps you need to radically improve your sales page conversions. Plus, as you are aware, we are going to have fun, and I will share with you the next step, which is an amazing way to work with me, which is basically handing your sales page over to me. I will get it written in a day for you, so it will do its job. Oh, and stay with me until the final curtain. And you have an opportunity to just share your sales page with me. In our Q&A section, you will obviously be able to ask questions, but you share me your sales page. Share the link. I'm going to jump and take a look at your sales page. I'm going to give you a quick gut check and let you know where you should focus your rewrite energy on moving forward. So that's happening right at the end. So for a chance for me to actually review your sales page really quickly on the call, stay with me till the end, you guys. So let's do this. When we think about selling online, or when we think about just being an online business owner, it should be, we kind of think about selling should be, you come up with a product, a service, an idea, and you sell it, right? You conjure up the idea, you conjure up the product, the service, you take all your expertise and all your experience, you bundle it up, you create a product, and then you sell it. That's how it should be. That's the point of starting a business, right? But in reality, there's like 6 steps to getting the sale. It's not as simple as come up with the product, service, or idea and then sell. Okay, so it's actually 6 steps in between you coming up with the product and then actually selling it. And let me talk that through for you right now. So the 6 steps in that sales communication process is, first, it starts with you, right? You have a feeling deep inside, right? Like I'm working here, and I know everyone on this call and everyone on this masterclass is, for lack of a better word, passionate about what they sell, right? We're not here selling plumbing because we got into the family plumbing business and we, some sort of quirky Hallmark movie situation happened. Oh my God, my brain's going to a rom-com. Oh, a small town plumber falls in love with a big shot plumbing agency. I don't know where I'm going with this. But basically, we have all started our businesses because we have a feeling deep inside. We have a fire, we have passion, and it's why we get up early in the morning. It's why guys in Australia have gotten up at 6:30 a.m. to attend this masterclass, right? You have the passion, the fire, the motivation, and the connection to the thing that you want to sell. And the first step you need to do in order to make the sale is you need to send this feeling that kind of, sits here. You send it to your brain in an attempt to make sense of it all. So this is you trying to translate this message, this feeling, this incredible, like, if only my clients could understand the thing that I'm selling is just going to be so life-changing, right? You know that feeling. Then you need to send it to your brain to try to like make sense of it all, try to scramble it. Okay, once your brain has some kind of idea about what this feeling is, you need to then start to put your intended message together. So you need to start to transform that abstract idea and feeling into a communicable message. Okay, and in order to do that, you need to encode it with words, because words are how we communicate. So you've got to do this whole big translating process from feeling to your brain, like analyzing it to understanding what it is, to then use your language center to put it into words. So then you can actually share your encoded message, which is words, to your audience, right? And then you blast it out to all your platforms, website, emails, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you use, right? And that's not the end of it. Like, you're like, oh my God, my job is done. Thank God. No. Then you need to wait for your audience to read your message and then decode it correctly and respond with a purchase, right? So before your audience can respond and purchase, as I mentioned, they have to decode your message. Your audience, your next ideal client, has to interpret your message exactly the way you intended, understanding the source of your message and where it came from, right? So you've kind of gone like this: heart, brain, words, out into the world. Then they have to go words, brain, heart, buy. Okay, so it's kind of in reverse. The way that you put that message out there then gets reversed into how they receive it. Okay, so then we kind of get to this end of them reading your words, translating into their mind, and that translation is, well, they have to feel it. Does it make them feel like they're missing out on something if they don't buy? Okay, that's the communication process every single time you write or speak a message, and it's the same process every single time you want to sell something. It's the same process every single time you need to write a sales page. It can be scary. It can be like, whoa, my God, what? There are 6 times to potentially botch your sales process, but there are 6 opportunities to make that message shine and do its job. Okay, so guys, before we go any further, a little bit about me. If we haven't met, I'm Elizabeth McKenzie. I am a copywriter and founder of the Write or Die copywriting agency and Copy Boss, which is my copywriting course. I have a degree in marketing, media, communications, speech pathology. It's how I know all about this communication process, and a mini MBA in marketing. I'm a freaking nerd. Like, communication is my jam. Okay, the biggest thing I learned in speech pathology, which is obviously the whole like communication process, but being able to communicate and get your needs and wants met is a basic human right. Okay, when you lose your ability to communicate, the world goes to great lengths, thankfully in this day and age, to get you to be able to communicate. Now, I'm here to tell you that it's the same thing for your business. Your business's basic need and want is to be able to communicate to its audience. And that's what I'm here to help you do, is help you be able to do that well, so it gets what it wants, which is sales. Because without a business making sales, you just have a very expensive habit, very expensive hobby. I'm also a screenwriter and author, you guys, which means I just like, when I'm not writing words for clients, I'm writing words for my other clients, my producers. And I'm in the middle of writing a rom-com at the moment, which is probably why my brain went to the small town plumber rom-com story that I came up with. I have 2 dogs. Let's pray that they are nice and quiet. 1 kiddo, 1 husband. I'm obsessed with peanut butter. Like, it's peanut butter with butter. Okay, Eddie, my husband, introduced me to this. I would have never put butter as my base for peanut butter, but he got me onto it last year, and it is mind-blowing. And so I eat peanut butter on toast all the time. Guys, I just want to share with you a little collage of what it's like working with me. basically, when I write something for my clients, it is very important to me that I get results like this. It's very important to me that when I deliver that sales page to you, it sounds like you, it communicates the message, right? So I really kind of bring in that speech pathology element to make sure that that whole communication process is honored every single time. And my clients love the results. I've also been extremely lucky enough to work with some incredible clients, be able to present and educate at some great organizations like General Assembly. My copy and my stories have been placed in semifinals and the Awesome Film Festival. I've been featured in Huffington Post. I have had the privilege to be able to speak at amazing events, to train and learn with some of the great names of the business, and write copy for incredible game changers, also in the online space as well. And so all that is to say is that I've used my words to help clients increase their revenue by 300%, pull off $250,000 launches, and scale by selling their first business franchise. And basically, it's been super fun being me, but hey, I was not always there. Okay, that wasn't always the thing, right? So before I was a copywriter, I was a marketing strategist because, as I said, nerd alert, I went to university and studied marketing, media communications. My natural next step was go out there and become a marketing strategist, a freelance marketing strategist and consultant. And I would work with businesses by strategically creating a marketing plan for them, right? And it was my clients and their business's responsibility to go off and deliver on said marketing plans, okay? But what I noticed time and time again is my clients just keep getting stuck. They were staring at the blank page. They just couldn't turn their marketing campaign into a clear, compelling copy. And it just, that was just completely out of their wheelhouse, especially as I was working with small business owners. I was working with small entrepreneurs. So, what happened was every week when we would catch up for our weekly meeting, we'd have these grand plans, these grand marketing plans, these grand campaigns that if we just had the copy and content written would make waves. But we were kind of like always stalling. Nothing was working, right? And I just knew that my clients needed someone to write the damn thing. They didn't need another plan. Can you relate? Do you feel right now that if only the copy got done, right? If only the action got taken, I just feel like we spend so much time in planning mode, right? Like planning the launch, planning how we're going to like map out this next service and product. And it's fun. Planning is fun. It's fun because you don't have to do anything. You get to just play in that beautiful, like right brain space where you get to conjure up all these ideas. I'm an ideas woman. I'm a right brain gal. I don't need like left brain to come down and try to tell me that I need to be realistic and get shit done and implement things. I love to dream. And I feel like as business owners, it is one of our biggest strengths is to be able to dream big, to see the possibilities, right? To put that in our moleskin journals and map it out. The glory of something big and crazy we could do. But when it comes to actually sitting down to say, write the sales page, nothing happens. Okay. And that's why I pivoted my business and went into copywriting because that's what my clients were looking for. And turns out that's what I love doing the most. That's what I absolutely love doing the most. So I basically pivoted my business and became a copywriter. And so now I like sit in alleyways with my laptop laughing. No, it's not true. But I really love my business. I really enjoy what I do. And I'm able to take, right, all of my marketing knowledge that I've learned from being a marketing strategist and apply that into copywriting. So not only when I'm writing, not only is my copy creative because, as I mentioned, I'm this big creative powerhouse. I like write scripts and books, and no one can take my imagination away from me. So it's always going to be creative, right? But it's also insanely grounded in strategy, marketing strategy. So now my clients, instead of kind of every week we're meeting up and nothing's happening and nothing's moving forward because we have a plan, but we're not actioning the plan, they easily launch new products and services with copy that converts. They always get the sale and then never get stuck staring at the blank page. So you guys, it is time now to write your sales page that sends people into a buying frenzy. Let's do this. We're starting off with the 5 mistakes your sales page makes. So mistake number 1 is a lot of business owners summarize their way out of a sale. Okay? So what ends up happening is that a lot of people end up using their headline to summarize what their sales page is about, like what they're selling, right? So the headline will be life coaching. Their headline will be copywriting services. Okay, so what you're effectively doing as your mistake is you're summarizing your way out of a sale, because your headline has one job and one job only: to hook in your ideal clients and get them to read the next line. So the thing with summarizing it, with saying, hey, copywriting services, right, life coaching, is that we are not hooking people in to get them to move along to read the next line. We're basically telling them what it is so they can kind of opt out or opt in. We haven't said anything that grabs their attention and hooks them in. And honestly, no one writes a sales page to have people stop reading after the first line. But that's what most people end up doing, because that headline that I mentioned, it's the written equivalent of a first impression. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to write something that is not summarizing what this sales page is about. We need to write something that grabs them, gets their attention, and encourages them to read the next line. Okay, so your headline on your sales page, the only job is to get people to read the next line. But when you summarize it, you basically get people tapping out after the first line. Okay, so that is the mistake number 1, is that you're summarizing your way out of a sale by writing life coaching, copywriting services, dog walking services, whatever it is that you're selling. By putting that in the headline, you're effectively summarizing your way out of a sale. So what we need to do is we need to turn that headline into like that intrigue. We need to hook people in, right? That headline's only function is to get people to read the next line. Okay, no more, no less. So I just need you to, I'm going to say it one more time. Your headline on your sales page, its only job is to get you, your reader, your ideal client, to read the next line. It is not to summarize, it's not to tell people where they're at. It's simply to get people to read the next line. So that's mistake number 1, right? And that is the first line. If you get that wrong, right, you make that mistake of summarizing it, people are bouncing out. I need you to also remember, like, where people are just randomly like falling out of the sky onto your sales page. Okay, they're not lost. They know what they're looking for. They know they're looking for copywriting services. They know they're looking for a life coaching package. They know they're looking for dog walking. Okay, so we don't need to waste also precious real estate on telling them what they already know. So it's really great for you to have in mind the customer journey and where they're at in their knowledge and what you're selling before they even jump on your sales page. Okay, most people are not going to, as I said, fall out of the sky and randomly land on your sales page and not know who they are, where they are, and what decade this is, and what's going on, and where am I, right? That doesn't really happen. And it's really great for you to think, where were they the moment before they land on my sales page? What were they thinking? What were they looking for? Where were they at in the buying journey, right? That's going to help you then know that first line to write. Okay, so mistake number 2, telling them what they get before they even want it. Okay, Here's the thing, people buy based off emotion, and then they use logic to justify the purchase after the initial emotional yes. Okay, so many people go in and tell them what it is instead of working their way up to, as I said, working their way up to that point. Okay, a lot of clients, and I see this time and time again, will jump straight into the what it is that they're selling, right? But as I mentioned here, people buy based off emotion. Okay, then they use logic to justify the purchase. So the logic is all the key elements that you get. For example, like my sales page in a day, you get a questionnaire, then we have a 60-minute deep dive phone call, then I go off for 6 hours and do some writing, and then I do a video and walk through and talk you through all the decisions I've made, and then you get 7 days of feedback and follow up after that. But none of that, no one wants that until they have this emotional yes, until the emotional buy-in has happened, until they're like, I need this, I want this at an emotional here level, right? When we speak about the whole like sales process and communicating a message, until they feel they don't give a fuck about what's included and what they get, right? So people buy based off emotion, then use logic to justify the purchase after the initial yes. So stop straight away telling people what they get before they even want it, and let their emotions guide them through that sales process by honoring and understanding the psychology of human decision making, right? And it starts with emotion. So get them to feel, and then you will get them to buy. Okay, that's mistake number 2. Mistake number 3. I feel like I see people try to sales page hack, but they end up with a hack sales page. And what do I mean by that is I've done this before, like before I was a copywriter, right? Back in my like marketing consulting days, I'd like look around at other people's sales pages and be like, oh, like I really like what they did here. Oh, I like this structure, right? Like we look for a formula. We look for a formulaic way for someone to guide us, right? For how to show up on our sales page. But what happens is we lose so many clients because we lose out us in the process, right? Every time you look out there, you lose who you are. You lose your personality, but people buy people. So you better show some personality. You better not sound like a copycat version of your idol coach or someone you look up to. You really need to rein in your own personality. Okay, people by people, right? That human connection is so important and so key, but we get so stuck in like copy hackers and conversions and where's the formula and what do I need to do and what do I need to say. But what you really need to do is like go through that sales page and see, hey, does this sound like me? Is this how I talk? Is my expertise coming through? I'm like hinting at a few things here that are part of our fixes. So I'm going off script, but guys, people by people. So you better show some personality, okay? You better. Or else people, again, are going to bounce. Like you put yourself in that pool of competition. When you start to kind of bring that formula, you try to hack, you follow the conversion tips and tricks, and you kind of end up with a sales page that like looks and feels and sounds like someone else because you're looking at like industry standards here or what you think are industry standards here and try to kind of like replicate that. You lose out. You become part of the sea of sameness, right? So the way to cut through the sea of sameness is to bring your personality into your sales page. And I feel like it's very easy for you to do on Instagram stories, very easy for you to do on your emails, but it's kind of funny. As soon as you get to that sales page, which is that final frontier before people like say yes and pay you, you kind of people freeze up a little bit. They lose their personality. They lose that fun, delight, right? And they kind of become very, very conversion-y, which is very hacky, which just sounds like puts you back in the sea of sameness because you sound like everyone else, but your personality is the thing that's going to separate you. So we need to make sure that you're bringing that to your sales page, okay? All right, mistake number 4, high level, lofty concepts. and you're using phrases like impact, success, confidence, freedom, next level transformation, dream life, these high level concepts, in theory, selling something like confidence seems like a no-brainer, right? But confidence is a high level, lofty concept up here. And it is so hard for someone to see value in a concept that kind of floats up here and is not grounded in reality and real life. Okay, so we need to bring context. If you're going to use something like confidence, you need to bring context, examples, detail. Okay, you need to bring detail into your copy. I'm not saying that you can't sell like confidence coaching. I'm not saying you cannot sell how to be confident. No way. I'm just saying that you need to bring examples. What does confidence look like on a daily basis? Is it being able to walk into your boss's office with your head held high and ask for a pay rise? Okay. Is it being able to walk up, sashay up to the really cute barista and ask him out? What does this confidence look like in the day-to-day life? This is where so many people miss out as well, right? High level, lofty concepts are where we lose sales completely because we can't attribute, we can't give value. Okay, so money is in the details. A lot of people stress about being specific because they think, hey, I can help a myriad of examples of people being confident, right? Like, I just don't work with people who want a pay rise. I don't only just work with people who want to ask out the hot barista, right? I work with people in any way, shape, or size, whatever confidence issues they have. I don't want to exclude people. I totally get that sentiment. But here's the thing, as human beings, we need you to lead and show via example so we can take that example and translate that into our own life, okay? When we have something up here like confidence floating up here and there's no example for what that looks like in our life, then you're kind of getting people to do a lot of mental labor here to try to go, okay, so where do I need to be confident in my life? Like, where is my confidence missing? Right, so we kind of like spin on it. We're like trying to think about it, and then there's we don't do the work. We're like, I don't know. I guess I don't really need. I don't know. Like, I don't know where I need confidence. But if we give an example, hey, get a pay rise because you're confident enough to ask for it, I might go, oh, you know what? Like, I work for myself, so I am my boss, and I don't need to ask my boss for a pay rise. But what I need to do is learn how to like increase my prices, right? So I can translate that example into my own life. But if you ask me to think it up all on my own and create it out of nothing, I'm not going to do it. So money is in the details, okay? Bring in context, get specific. And the final mistake, I'm going to pause for dramatic effect, even though I gave you a sneaky peek. A lot of you bail after the buy now button. What an alliteration. Okay, many of you bail after that buy now button, but there are more words to write, okay? So you're missing an opportunity to handle the objection and turn your maybe next time into a must buy. So what happens is you'll have some really great copy. You have, you'll do your headline really amazing. You'll tell stories. You'll do all this amazing stuff. You'll talk about the outcomes, buy now button, and then you're out of here. Like you're like, my sales page is done. No. Okay, after that first buy now button, that's when shit gets real for your next client. That's when shit gets real. And so this is when their objections will start to come up, right? Because we're actually asking them to make that commitment. So of course you're going to have some objections. So if you think that final frontier of your button by now is like, we're done, then you're losing out on sales because this is your time to handle the objections. So make sure that there is more copy, there is more to read after that initial first buy now button that is going to, as I said, turn that maybe next time, oh, that sounds cool, maybe next time into I must buy this now, okay? So those are the 5 mistakes, guys. Are you ready to start making sales every time someone visits your sales page? Are you ready to sleep while you sleep? I did not read this slide. Are you ready to make sales while you sleep is what I wanted to say. Are you ready to turn your sales page into pure profits? Yeah. Yes. Let's freaking do it. I just want to tell you right now, Ash made back her investment 15 times over since we worked together. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 simple steps to turning your sales page into pure profits. Look, I even did a diagram for you guys. Okay, this generally relates to the 5 mistakes, but basically what we need to do, we need to hook them in. We need the story selling arc. We need your way or the highway, the magic pill method, and objections sustained. I really hope my legal speak works in this. I think it does. All right, first up, guys, what we need to do. I mentioned this before, right? A lot of you summarize your way out of a sale. So what we need to do in step 1 is we need to hook them in. So your headline, as I mentioned, it needs to grab their attention. It needs to turn their brain off autopilot. So our brain will go on autopilot if we read the same thing over and over and over again, right? Copywriting services, I've read that 50 million times. If I'm looking for a copywriter, my brain is going to turn off. We need to say something that is fresh, that is different, that turns the brain off autopilot. Also, not to put the pressure on, but your headline does need to set the tone and capture the general overall theme. So people are settled in and they know what they're getting themselves into to read this, okay? Because when you hook the reader in, they will read all the way to the buy now button, okay? And when you have more eyeballs, you get more sales. So first step is we need to hook them in, okay? And let me tell you what happened to Rochelle when she worked with us. She didn't believe, she was told that she wasn't allowed to really be specific in her messaging, but by marketers actually. But when she came to work with moi, what we did was set that tone, set that theme, really get clear on who it is that Rochelle wants to work with, put that in that, hook people in that way. And we were able to get her true message and audience coming through, and therefore her business started booming, and now her membership is killing it. So really that hook where we set the tone, capture the theme, really speaking to the right people by grabbing their attention, turning them off autopilot will, as I said, hook them in, get them to read the next line and the next line and the next line all the way to the buy now button. Okay, step number 2 here, you guys, is what I call the 3-act story arc. Okay, there are 3 stories that every single sales page needs. You need a future-based story. You need a client testimonial story. And you need what I call a truth bomb story. So each of these stories are a way to help your ideal client buy in to what it is that you're trying to sell, right? So instead of selling them, right, what, before they even want it, this is where we get to sell them on the why. We get to sell them on more than what they actually get. We get to sell them on what it all means to them and why, because your why is so much more important than your what. Okay, so when I look at sales page in a day, you don't really care about the process. You want the sales page done so you can go out there and launch your product and make your sales, right? That's what you care about. You don't care about all the little nitty-gritty bits. You don't need a play-by-play of my day and how I structure it. All you care about is that it's done, okay? And not even that it's done, but what that sales page represents. And that's where you have your future-based story, your client testimonial story, your truth bomb story. So the future-based story is really that aligned to, the outcome focus, what it's like for them, take them into the future of what their life is like after they buy your product or work with you. Right? A client testimonial story looks at, where they were before they worked with you and thereafter. So it's a bit of a before and after transformation. And that truth bomb story is really about what is their life like right now? And why isn't it working for them? Right? What is their life right now? What is their life like right now, and why that's not going to get them what they truly want? So including the three, I call it the 3X story arc, because it really takes people on that journey through the sales page and allows us, again, to continue to build that connection with people, right? All the way to the buy now button. And, when I worked with Laura Yates, one of the biggest things she mentioned was we were able to take her message and put it into something incredible that communicates it in a way that's real and authentic. And that's what this kind of story element does. It allows you to get really real and authentic with your message, because you're able to put it, like, instead of just talking at people, you're really including people into your copy when you add these stories, so people have that connection to you. Okay, so step 3 is what I call your way, the highway. This is the third element in your sales page. Okay, what you need to do is you need to get people to buy in for you, right? Why you? And this is your opportunity to present yourself as the expert. And really, this is your opportunity to justify your way or the highway. That's why I've called it this way. Okay, so there are lots of different opportunities, right? There's competition everywhere. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, competition doesn't exist. Like doctors, there's millions and trillions of doctors in the world, right? They don't sit there and go, oh my God, competition, I can't do this, right? There are a lot of people that do what you do. This is your opportunity to slice your way into your industry and build up that beautiful corner of your industry into something that is incredible by presenting yourself as the expert. Okay? It's your way or the highway. So a lot of people miss out on this. They miss out on believing this is they don't feel like they need to be like bringing the education, explaining and justifying why you're selling what you're selling, why you're doing it this way, why this formula, or why this path, or why this system that you've created, or why working with you or them is the path forward. So there really does have to be an element of why you and why your way. And if you can justify that, you will have people converted to the church of you and what you do. And, when I worked with Kate Hunter, it's exactly kind of what we were able to do, right? Get under the skin of your business and ideal clients, and then really mirror it back in a way that says, that's what I want to say. This is where you have that beautiful combination of you and your ideal client. Okay. Plus, I add glitter, apparently. Okay. The fourth step here is what I call the magic pill method, right? So your magic pill method needs to be outcome focused. It needs to take people from A to B. It needs to be exactly what they want, not what they need. So I use this method all the time when I write sales pages. And what it is basically, I want you to take your whole entire process. Okay. So while you have that section where you justify you and your way and why it's your way or the highway, when it comes to then selling the thing that you're selling, you need to bottle that all up into what I call the magic pill, right? So it's almost like if your client could take a magic pill to get what they want, don't kid yourself into thinking that they're above it, okay? I would happily take a magic pill to lose the baby weight, okay? Like I would do it. If only they actually worked. Of course they don't, but we want to bottle it up. Bottle up that magic pill method. Sorry, bottle up your method, your process into a magic pill, and really now start to focus on the outcome, okay? And what that's going to do is get you out of that mindset of selling people what they need instead of what they want. So I feel like as entrepreneurs and experts in our field, what happens is the more we show up in business and the longer we're in business for, we kind of totally forget what it's like way back in the beginning, right? We kind of have so much more insight, and we're more experts, we're better experts, language. We become experts of our industries, right? As we show up year after year after year. And I think we totally forget what it's like all the way in the beginning, right? And so we kind of get a little bit ahead of ourselves, and we're like, well, actually, you need this. You think you need this, but you actually need something else instead. So we can kind of just get a little bit pulled off path when it comes to recognizing what our ideal clients actually want. And the easiest thing to do is sell them what they want and give them what they need in that process, which we've all heard about, but it goes without saying because so many people forget this. So many people get so stuck in selling what people need, and then they don't sell because their ideal client isn't ready to hear that message. Okay. They're just a few steps behind. They're a few steps behind where you are. And so you need to just kind of rewind a little bit. And that's what this magic pill method allows you to do, is it allows you to kind of examine what it is that you're selling and how you're selling it, and making sure that it meets your ideal client exactly where they are and sells them what they want, not what they need, helps them get from A to B, and is very outcome focused. Instead of kind of getting caught in the weeds of, well, actually, you actually really need this if you want to get what you want, which when working with you, that will naturally happen, right? It'll just naturally happen. So, when I use this kind of magic pill method, this is what happens. We get 63 signups into programs. We launch to 103 new members. We steadily increase our portfolio of dream clients by 10 to 30% each month just through the sales page, guys. So it works. The fifth and final key to your sales page is another story, you guys. But, I mentioned this: objection, sustain. This is where after that initial buy now button, you need to tell another story. Okay, you need to tell one more story, which is the post buy now button story. And what this is it really is a story about that biggest objection that your clients have, right? What it really does is take into account, what is the one thing that goes, but, yeah, this is awesome, but, okay, get in their heads. What is that one thing that's going to give them the but? Okay, you need to continue now to write about that but, and really, this is your time to be like the champion of the debate team and actually bring them around to it. Okay, and it's possible. I've done it with Jess. We did this for one of her evergreen webinar funnels, including her sales page and her emails, and getting it to convert. And the same thing with Sarah and at Happy Gymnastics, where we relaunched her new webinar and was able to crush her records, all because we didn't bounce after that buy now button. What we did was, you have the buy now button, and then you continue the journey with your readers to make sure you're handling those objections. Okay, so you guys, if you want more sales, they don't just happen on their own, right? Like, your sales page doesn't just miraculously get written on its own or miraculously just sell on its own, unless you really understand your ideal clients, where they're at, where they've been, and what do they need to hear, right? If you want more signups, each of my clients gets more sales and signups and launch success because we have implemented these 5 steps into their sales page. Remember, if I can cast your mind back all the way to the start of this masterclass, the way to get from product or service to sale is with your words. Remember that your words, that message that you encode from your heart to your brain, into your language center, into your words, out into the world, there where your ideal clients have to do the exact reverse. It's all with our language and our words, because as humans, that's the only thing that we have to communicate with. So if you're ready to transform your sales page into pure profits, you guys, I want a sleazy pickup line for sales page in a day. Okay, this is basically the only way that you can work with me in a one-on-one capacity at this time. While I do also write like the launch emails that go along with the sales page as well for clients, it always starts with the sales page, because as I said, every sale that you make, right, everything that you're launching, the final frontier before people can pay you is your sales page. So we need to start there and work backwards. So you guys, I want to give you a backstage pass to how I'll write your sales page in a day, just so you can understand. And I kind of mentioned this earlier, but we start with a questionnaire. I go off and do my research. Then on the day, so we book in a day for you. On the day, we do a deep dive phone call. This is where I get to understand you, your personality, who you are, your quirks, your opinions. I learn a little bit more about your ideal client. We come up with that kind of message. After that, it's your sales page in a day. I go off and basically write it, which is super exciting. So Stream Health HR, I've done a little copy for them. But basically the biggest thing is I take the stress off their plate when it comes to writing their own copy. It's just another thing off their to-do list when it comes to the whole entire marketing campaign, which is what I got into this business in the first place for. So are you ready to finally turn your sales page into pure profits? Of course you are. So the next step is I want you to decide if you're ready to step into the spotlight and start selling and using your online presence and doing that really well. Then I want to book in a quick coffee chat with me, okay, to make sure we're a good fit. So I want, before, I have a form that I'm going to share with you to fill out if you're interested in it, but we're going to go on a quick call, okay, because I want to make sure we're a good fit. I don't just want to be taking your money and this isn't going to work. So we're going to book a quick coffee chat to make sure we're a good fit. Then you get your sales page written in a day. Like, my God, it's pretty freaking awesome. So if you're feeling pretty excited about finally waving goodbye to crappy sales pages and transforming into pure profits, I want you to book your call now. I'm going to share now this link for you. It will take you to just a page where you can just fill out a form. It'll come to me and we will book the call. Okay, so you might have a few questions. My biggest question I kind of get is, okay, but what happens when you've spent years developing a business and brand and you just wonder, like, is this copywriter going to get it? So will I be able to find your voice? Will I be able to understand the nuances of your business? Will it actually sound like you or someone else? Well, when I worked with Lauren Roxburgh, which she was on my slide earlier, this is what she had to say. She had to say, I actually enhanced her voice and took it to a whole new level while making it less wordy and less complex. So you guys, trust me when I say that I'm able to tap into your voice and like elevate it to the next level for you. And also, what happens when you're trying to sell crystals or a course or a membership or a higher mastermind or accounting services or one-on-one packages or books or workshops? Will this still work for me? Absolutely. As a speech pathologist, and as I mentioned, communication, bad communication is a business killer. So it's kind of like this deadly silent assassin that will come in and kind of ruin your sales every single time. But what I'm here to do is stop that from happening. So you guys, I can write a sales page for anything that you're selling because human beings, we're all the same. It really starts at the human level. It doesn't start at the what. As I mentioned, that's one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're trying to sell something, is they try to sell people the what before they even want what the what is, right? So we come in from this understanding the psychology of human decision-making. As I mentioned, the process is questionnaire, research, deep dive phone call, then you get your sales page written. So why now, guys? Like, why would you do this now? Remember, before your audience can respond with a purchase, first they have to decode your message. Okay? Your audience has to interpret your message exactly the way you intend, understand the source of your message and where it came from, so we have beautiful richness, because remember, people buy based off emotion and they use logic to justify it, so we have to make sure we're landing that. Then they have to feel so connected to it that they actually want to buy it. There's just no escaping it. And if getting your sales page written is one thing on your to-do list where it's kind of like, fuck, like I haven't done it and I'm not making any inroads, then get me to do it. Let's turn your sales page into automated sales through my sales page in a day, you guys. So what's really limited, okay? I do a handful, not even a handful. I do a handful a month, okay? And then I'm tapped out for that month. I only allocate a certain number of days per month to do this. So spots are limited. Book your call now by clicking on the button. Now let's Q&A it up.